A little over a week ago, it was finally here, the Cayo Perico Heist. After many months of waiting and speculating, we could finally see what Rockstar had in store for us. There was a promise of a heist that was going to be doable completely solo, which at first sounded really exciting, but personally I mentioned some concerns about this from a difficulty point of view. Questions were raised about the availability of the Cayo Perico island itself in free roam, and now that we have all the answers, how did the Cayo Perico heist turn out? Let's discuss. Let's start off with the stuff that isn't the heist and the island, and because it's pretty fair to say that this update is more than just the heist itself. The Music Locker is another new social space similar to the nightclub that we had 2.5 years ago. While it's a good space to be in, I personally didn't really spend much time there outside of having my first chat with Mini Madrazo about the heist to come. The Music Locker isn't meant to have a lot of gameplay in there, but I feel that there definitely would have been some room for some new things being added. Dance battles and drinking battles from the Battle of Gtamen, anyone? The Music Locker really seems to be there for those who frequent clubs when they're not inside playing video games and still give them a space to kind of have a bit of a party vibe to it. But since my idea of a party is a PSN party, I don't think I can give a good opinion on it. Having said this, if Twitch would allow music to be played and YouTube wouldn't copyright claim a 25-second clip in a 3.5-hour stream, then I probably would have enjoyed the Music Locker a bit more. Yes, I'm aware, first world problems. Regardless, the nightclub is a cool new social space, especially for those who haven't bought into the nightclub. On top of that, the casino now has more use to it for those who can't even spin the wheel because, you know, country laws in gambling won't let you do things inside of a video game. Having 250 new songs is also a great addition to the game for those who don't have to deal with the before mentioned copyright issues. Then again, music is subjective, and if you need any more proof than that, then check out the comment section on the video I made when the radio expansion was announced. And then there is of course the main attraction. Pavel, what a great character. Lester being on the vacation to explore what a woman's touch feels like is definitely a breath of fresh air. While at times you can see that Pavel definitely has some Lester-esque type of lines, it's still very nice to hear someone else be your guide on this new adventure. Pavel is a well-written character that has some funny dialogue here and there, and overall just feels like he's just a fun character to be around. Little things like Mini Madrazo and the lines he says while you're idling in the submarine just to add to the brief moments where you re-enter the submarine or just standing AFK for a second. Also, am I the only one who thinks that it's pretty ironic how the nephew of Vlad from GTA 4 is in a submarine in the sea? Did Rockstar just give us a subtle gag there? Speaking of characters, there's definitely a lot more story to this DLC than previously. The introduction itself has a lot of cutscenes, which gives a good amount of backstory about everyone and everything. Previous DLCs always had the introduction, but Cayo Perico seems to be stepping it up quite a bit and making it feel more complete. Although Rockstar will continue the story-driven DLCs, as it's making a DLC feel a lot more whole. It would be nice to have them spaced out a bit more though, as the introduction to the heist can feel quite lengthy because of all the unskippable cutscenes. As for the island itself, I have to say that the overall feel of it is enjoyable, despite its performance issues even on PC. It really does feel like it was only made with the heist in mind. As much as it would be cool to go to the island itself in free roam, realistically speaking, there isn't really much there. Imagine flying over it with a helicopter, you'll be on the other side of it in the blink of an eye. So yes, it is a bit disappointing that we can't explore the island at our own pace without the constant feeling of our chest being beaten up by the backside of a military rifle for the 50th time. But I personally don't think it's a great loss really. Just blame base Xbox One and PS4 for it and you're off to the races. I heard that those islands there are running quite smoothly. And then there is the heist. The Cayo Perico heist itself is a cool and interesting experience. Between the submarine space and the scoping out of the island, you do feel like you're planning something big. All the different escape points, infiltration points, etc. will give you a variety to choose from. Especially the approach vehicles open up a bunch of opportunities. But the reality is that you really just want to stealth this heist or you will have a bad time. Failing at stealth in this heist is pretty brutal. The enemy AI is pretty accurate and chances of you getting it out there alive are pretty slim. So most of the time you're just better off restarting the checkpoint. I heard that there's a lot of people that got Doomsday PTSD from playing this heist whenever they failed stealth. if you want to know what it feels like. And when you do it in the stealthy way, in the current meta way to do it, then you'll just end up running past everyone. Now I understand that Rockstar had to keep solo players in mind, but I just feel that this heist feels a little bit too easy. Now I should mention, at the time of writing, I have streamed this heist for almost 48 hours in 1 week, so I might be a little biased on that one. To me, it would have been better if they would have taken the casino heist approach where you could choose what approach you want to take. Because right now you do 5 prep missions and after the finale you go. The approach vehicle doesn't really change much how you will approach the heist in reality. The only time your approach will change if you pick up some guard clothing or go guns blazing from the start. Or just fail at stealth again. There's not really a structure to it, and it ends up making you go back to the same drainage tunnel over and over again. And while you could argue that that's kind of like the player base's fault because, you know, hey, it's the easiest way of making money, so let's go and do that. With Casino Heist, we had specific prep missions for each approach. It made them feel unique and like they were more fleshed out. In the Cayo Perico Heist, you don't have that, because your approach is basically on the island and depends on what pieces of equipment you find. I'm not saying that this approach is wrong, because let's be honest, it's a breath of fresh air, and especially with the random secondary targets and equipment spawns, you at least have the illusion that your approach will be different each time. But the only real flaw that the Casino Heist had, in my opinion, was that you lacked the freedom to choose what was optional and what was mandatory. Nano drones, anyone? I can see what Rockstar's design idea was behind the heist, and it's pretty clever. Their idea behind the heist, I think, was that you were to scope out the location you were planning on entering from and also leaving from, so that way you know what secondary targets you want to pick, as well as the equipment to use to either cut open the gate or climb over the wall. Instead, they also added a drainage tunnel, which probably is the main reason why this heist is so easy. Yes, I said it, easy. The Cayo Perico Heist is indeed a solo grinder's dream. I've heard many people completing this heist in like 45 minutes, and yes, that is with all the preps and the finale. There's simply a lot of things in this heist that are completely optional, which is definitely not a wrong thing at all. This gives people the freedom to choose whether they want to YOLO the secondary targets or scope them out first, and that is of course a very welcomed addition. The same obviously also goes with the equipment, but that one might be a bit of a bad idea to try and take your chances with. So overall, I feel that the Cayo Perico Heist is a good heist. While it feels less fleshed out than the other heist, at least from a gameplay perspective, you can tell a lot of time and care went into making the island feel like it was a big part of the heist, and it definitely delivered in that. I feel as a solo player, you'll never have to look back at any other way of making money again, which is great. And for those who like to play with their friends, there's definitely plenty of opportunity as well to potentially just go around the entire island and get the best loot possible. The Cayo Perico Heist in one word is choice. Choice to take the approach that you want to take without having to do stuff or find stuff that feels completely unnecessary to you or your crew. But those are just some of my thoughts, of course. I would love to know what you think down in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and if you really like what you saw, consider becoming a member like Garrus, Chloe, Ripstakes, and Dr. Strangelove. Join them by clicking the join button down below. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. My nose keeps itching, man. It's like I had way too much cocaine on that island. Damn.